Hello and welcome, Blender fans. I received a new question, this time about the mirror modifier. Let's read it. Could you create more tutorials for beginners like me? For example, I don't know why you sometimes use the symmetrize and not the mirror modifier. What's the difference? Okay, that's quite simple. I use symmetrize when I do sculpting and when I have a model that has a lot of polygons. The mirror modifier can be used when you know exactly that you're going to create a model that is symmetric, like the one here. So you switch to edit mode, add the mirror modifier, and you create the model. Oh no, you know what? Let's create it together. So open up Blender. This is version 2.77. We start with the default cube and delete it. And we want to create a model that looks like this here. I painted this as a kind of reference so that I know what I want to create. Now I switch to orthographic view and add a plane. The plane is added right in the center. And I want to create this model symmetrical to the x-axis. The x-axis is the red one and the y-axis is the green one. How will the mirror modifier help us to create this symmetric model? Well, when you add the mirror modifier to this plane, switch to edit mode and add vertices, edges. Every kind of modification to the model is perfectly mirrored to the other side. So what we do now is I add an edge loop here in the middle, switch to face selection mode and delete the left part of this plane. And now that's the perfect start to add a mirror modifier. Switch to object mode, select the modifier tab and then choose the mirror modifier. And as a result, you can see that the left side of the plane is perfectly mirrored. I select the x-axis here in the options of the modifier because I want to mirror my model using this axis. Now let's select an edge, and when I press G key and move this edge around, you can see that this operation is done on both sides of the x-axis. And this comes in very handy when creating symmetric models like this. There are two other options I want to mention. The first one is merge. This means the modifier will automatically merge vertices while moving them around when their distance threshold will be less than the value you defined here. The clipping option means when this is enabled, then we are not able to move vertices to the other side of the axis we are mirroring for. Okay, but now let's create the model I painted. I enable the snapping tool to exactly snap my edges I move here to the grid. Just like that. Now let's add a new edge. Press the E key to extrude it. I still have enabled my snapping to the grid, and with this option I'm able to create exact meshes. You can see the lower part of the model is already created. Again, I extrude the next edge for my model, move it to the right and snap exactly here to the grid. And you see I'm not able to move this edge to the other side of the axis because I have my clipping option enabled. And the edge I have selected here is also merged. This means I don't have two edges now that I move to the x-axis. It is just one. And I'm quite happy with my model now, with the shape. But there's one thing missing, because these are just planes, okay? This is a little bit thin. So I have to add another modifier, and this is the solidify modifier. This can be used to increase the thickness of the model. I just pull the slider thickness here to the right, and you can see how my model is getting bigger and bigger. But you may have noticed that the thickness is not equal, so we just check this equal thickness. Very easy. And this is the shape I was going for. So we are done. The only thing left to do is now to apply the modifiers. First the mirror modifier, and after that the solidify modifier. And then we can see the resulting mesh. Let's do this now. Just apply mirror. And now the solidify. And when you switch to edit mode now, you can see the resulting mesh created by the modifiers. Okay, my friends, I really hope you liked this tutorial and the question is answered by this. Please subscribe to my channel, and it would be really cool if you could support me on my Patreon so that I have the time to create more tutorials like this in the future. It's really cool to answer your questions by creating these video tutorials. You can contact me by writing an email or just add a comment on YouTube. Another option is to write to my Twitter account @JNMGames. I check this regularly. So thanks a lot for watching and see you soon here on my channel.